So under that government initiative, we have automobile freight train scheme that we call it as here we will be asking the private players, they can have their own separate special wagon, okay, dabba. Okay, they can have their own special wagon on the railway network. Okay, they can be providing a special logistic facility. Private player will be able to induct, private player will be able to operate the wagon on their own network. Like, there are a lot of like Bajaj is there, we have Hero is there, we have Tata is there. They have a lot of things. They are selling the car, bikes, and everything they are selling. So a special automobile freight train operator will be set up. So this is what government is trying to provide, various type of services to the private player under this whole head. Then we have R3I initiative. What is the meaning of R3I initiative? It is Railway Infrastructure for Industry Initiative. R and 3 I's. I1, infrastructure, industry, and initiative. So here again, the focus area is on getting the private sector participation for the rail connectivity, so that we can have the support of the private sector. They can also provide rail, additional rail transport, and they will be also able to generate the transport capacity. Okay, so there are a lot of remote areas are there. There are a lot of remote areas are there where railway has still not reached, and because of that, railway is losing the business along those lines. So that is why government is focusing on railway infrastructure for industry initiative. The main focus area is to bring the private player and let them to operate the private. They will be also helping in construction of the railway lines and everything, so that the rail share in the free traffic should increase. Okay, so we wanted to make rail option more and more competitive, right? More and more competitive, and we will be also helping and sharing the burden with the private player, right? So freight revenue will be generated and free traffic will be moving towards via new line. Okay, so this will be also providing a alternative routes for the development. Then we have a station redevelopment plan. So state of the art facilities, whether it is related to boarding, lodging, then we can have restrooms are there, then we have a retiring rooms are there, then we have a fooding are there, then we have a normal services are there, recreation services are there, and proper what we call it as like a comfort zone that we wanted to provide, similar to the airports we wanted to provide into the station redevelopment plans. Now, what is the advantage that our Indian Railway is offering? Okay, first of all, our Indian Railway is offering a growing demand. Obviously, the demand is growing. We ourselves is having a lot of demand that we are generating, whether it is rural or whether it is urban. Okay, so there is an increasing trend that we have seen. Estimated 2,64,600 crore revenue will be generating from the passenger, so driving growth. Okay, so our urbanization and rising income are driving the passenger segment. Okay, so traffic revenue is estimated to be 2,64,000 crore, 600 crore. Okay, so comprising 99.8% of the total revenue. Then we are getting a lot of FDI flow related components. Okay, rail infrastructure have seen lot of investment of 50 lakh crore rupees, around 715 billion by 2030. We are expecting that rail infrastructure we will be investing around 715.41 billion. Then policy support, government is focusing on public private partnership. Okay, for that separate policy for like what is the role of the private player is going to be. Okay, so there will be a building a private freight terminal and private container train operation that will be also developing. Okay, so there is a new iron ore policy government is allocating regarding the rakes, how much rakes will be allocated to the iron ores and everything. Then your Indian Railway is developing a technology especially focusing on signaling and telecommunication. So 15,000 kilometers being converted into automatic signaling, and 37,000 has been fitted with Kavach system. Okay, this is a very important system, Kavach system, which has been domestically developed by for in order to prevent the train collision. So this is a train collision avoiding system. Kavach system has been set for 37,000 kilometer. So if there is any two trains that are coming along the same line of the track, so automatically this Kavach system comes into play and it will stop both the train and it will signal the train drivers regarding this. Okay, so there is a growing demand that is coming because of urbanization, right? So 40% we will be expecting the global share of the rail by 2050. We will be having 40% share by 2050. Okay, so this revenue that we have already calculated over here, so we have given you in a picture diagram so that for better remembering. Okay, so so this opportunities is like Kavach system we have already developed. So this is again you have to remember from here, right? Train collision system. Then we have a FDI flow that we have already seen around 715.41 billion by 2030 in railway infrastructure, and 100% FDI in the railway sector. Government has already rolled out an allocation of the new REX for the iron ore, right? Now what are the issues that is more important? What are the issues that are more important to discuss over here? So let's see the first and the most important challenge is overcrowding. So every day if you see the X post, if you see the Facebook post, okay, right now there is a police exam that was happening in Uttar Pradesh. We can see that the trains are overcrowded. People are just sitting on the engines, people are sitting on the wagons, people have moved inside the AC coaches, first AC, second AC, third AC. Okay, so this is a very tragic situation during the peak season. During the peak season on the popular route, on the tourist route, this overcrowding is a very big issue. So it leads to the discomfort for the passenger and it also compromises their safety. So this overcrowding has to be taken care of, right? Then the second is infrastructure development. So as we all know that government is focusing by $715 billion infrastructure we will be investing by 2030. Okay, modernization of railway infrastructure, modernization of wagons, modernization of the signaling system, modernization of the tracking system. So this is all being has to be modernized. Otherwise lack of adequate infrastructure lead to delays, accident and inefficiencies. Then safety concerns. So government is focusing very much on the safety concern. As you can see that last year one accident has happened in the near the Kolkata line where there were three trains got stuck together and there was a collision that has happened from the back end side. Okay, derailment, collision and human error are still part of Indian Railways. They are still part of Indian Railways and government is doing all the effort in order to minimize these accidents. So for that right now for the collision system we are launching the Kavach system, and for the train derailment we are also working on that area, and human error we are focusing on that. Wherever we can put the machines and signaling system we can put over there. Then maintenance is yet another very big issue. We have a network of 68,000 kilometers of tracks is there. Lot of stations are there. Rolling stocks are there. Around we are having around 23 to 24,000 trains are there, and along with that they have lot of rolling stocks is there. So there has to be regular maintenance has to be given, which is very crucial for the safety and efficiency. Then slowly we are focusing on technological upgradation, whether it is related to wagon, whether it is related to signals, whether it is related to safety, okay, whether it is related to finance and everything, signaling, communication, infrastructure, rolling stock. So technological upgradation is the need of the hour. We have to focus, we have to take the lessons from the other countries, right? Then we have a financial viability. Railway often struggle with a lot of financial issues. So under the financial viability we are still struggling with the financial. As you all know that railway passenger segment passenger segment is running on losses. Okay, if you go to the ticket, 40% losses they are running over that, because highly subsidized fares are there, so that everybody can afford that. High operational cost, underutilization of resources, so there is a need for proper improved revenue generation sources and also to make the fare affordable. So this two things, revenue generation and keeping fare affordable, has to be finding. The main thing is that we have to find a very delicate balance between them. Then railway welfare, employee welfare. So we have a railway have a vast workforce, around lakhs of workforce we are having. So regarding their welfare, regarding their trainings, regarding their efficiency is a major challenges. Right now we can see that major accidents that has happened in the, like in some areas, that happens because there is a driver who is watching a cricket match during the train driving, right? So because all these human errors are there, which needs to be tackled properly. Then we have a security concern. Okay, security of the passenger. We know a lot of thefts are happening, right? Lot of thefts are happening in the railway station itself, inside the train. Okay, so this was more prevalent around 20-30 years back. Okay, so if we see like there is a chance that there can be a terrorist attack also can happen. Sometimes they maybe the people might break the railway line, sometimes the people might break the signaling system. Okay, that all. So we have seen that in the last Balasore, you know, Balasore train accident that has happened. So the focus was that has been given is that it has happened just because of the somebody has interfered with the signaling system. Then we come to the environmental impacts. Railway operation has also lead to lot of environmental impacts because of their diesel and coal locomotive operations were earlier there. Then land use and lot of noise pollution they create. Obviously, when they siren, horn and everything. So because of these, lot of carbon emissions are there. So right now, so railway is moving towards the electrification, but whatever their historical release of the carbon emissions, so they are saying that by 2030 they will be making Indian railway a carbon neutral transport system. Okay, so right now government is focusing on electrification, solarization, rooftop solarization and various other measures are there. Then regarding the public perception and customer service, so we wanted to improve the overall experience of the passenger, which is slowly improving. Is still there is a lot of issues are there related to overcrowding and welfare of the people. Okay, so right now the railway is running up to date X platform. Okay, you can post your queries over there, like if you have finding any problem in the while traveling, if you're finding any problems in the toilets, if you're finding with your seats or anything, any problem, you can post on the X and tag the railway ministry, and you will see that your problem gets sorted in the next immediate railway station. Okay, so cleanliness, comfort, quality of service is very important for maintaining the public trust. Slowly this government is gaining this public trust with the help of the well informed service and to the point services that government is providing. Okay, now Indian railways private participation, this is a very important topic, right? So in 2015 there was a committee, so we will be discussing about Vivek Devaroy committee. Okay, the Vivek Devaroy committee has recommended to allow the private entry of the players. So they said that we should allow the private entry of the players so that they can run both the free trains and they can both run the passenger train. Okay, so for this whole process, the Ministry of Railway has also released the document for the like all the private players who wanted to opt for this process of private entry into the players. So government has released a document for that also, right? So there are around 109 origin destinations have been chosen. with 151 modern train in the rail infrastructure. So if this whole process works, so it is going to generate around investment of 30,000 crore in 2023. So what exactly we are focusing on, like here, if the private party entries, so it will be more and more efficient. So their origin destination means the big players and big private players will be running the trains from Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Bangalore, and various other places. So they have the set routes that will be there, that will be providing the modern and state of the art facility to the passengers, but they will be all operated in a private way. Okay, so this will be providing entry of the new operators. So competition will be there, growth will be there, and services will also improve, right? So we have a Tejas Express was there, right? Then it will also aim to address the increasing demand of railway, because the central government is not that much able to provide the capacity augmentation, because the demands is rising exponentially, and the railway is providing services only in a arithmetic progression. So in order to reduce this unmet capacity constraint, so we wanted to provide the private player also to enter this, right? So this private player will be providing modernization of services like proper good cleanliness, food quality, safety, and it will also reduce the delay, because if there is a reduction in the delay, automatically they will be penalized, right? Right, like in UK, there is a train that has been run privately. So okay, if there is any kind of delay, then government penalize the private players, right? So modern technologies, new modern rolling stocks will be there, proper maintenance will be able to done. So this is going to provide a high quality service, those who can pay for it, right? But still, during this time, there are a lot of challenges that are incurring, because there is too much regulation that will happen because of the Indian Railway. So there is a need to find out the role Indian Railway will play in the private entry of the players over here. Okay, so if Indian Railway has to work, so they have to be like a competitor. Okay, they should not hinder the competition. So both have to work, both have to have a same faith among themselves, right? The praxis of cross subsidizing passenger fare and freight revenue, like railway can do, central government railways can do cross subsidization and cross reduction in the freight revenue. So because of that, it will lose to the less costing of the tickets, and because of that, the private player will not able to compete properly, because private player cannot subsidize the ticket, because private player has invested money and private player has to take out the money also. So private player cannot compete with the subsidized ticket and freight. So there should be competition among also regarding the pricing of the tickets also. Okay, so these are some of the challenges that has to be tackled in order to inculcate the private participation in the railway. Okay, so once the private player enter the market, so we have a very good efficient way of working, right? Private companies will be more focused on profit. Okay, they will be more focused on profit, right? So they will be also working in how they can reduce the cost and how they can improve their service quality, because if they improve the service quality, automatically they will get more and more customers on their own hand, right? Similarly, they will be getting a lot of investment, because private companies, whatever the investment that Indian Railway is needing, that can come from the private company, whether it is related to infrastructure, whether it is related to technologies or overall services. So whatever the much resource crunch we are having in the railway, we can get it from the private sector. Then more and more innovative way of railway, the use of railway signaling system, then wagon system, then rolling stocks. So the private party will be importing the things from the outside, whether it is technology, whether it is wagon, so that they can provide their customer with a state of the art experiences over there. So better customer experience. So better customer experience, you also improve the efficiency. Then it also reduce the government burden, because otherwise government have all the burden of running the railway. So once if the privatization, and if slowly privatization of certain area and routes can be done, so it will ease out the pressure from the government. Then customer focus. Obviously private company always focuses on their customer because that is their priority, because if they are not able to focus on customer, they will not able to provide them with the proper services, and automatically they will lose on the business. So they will focus only on customer safety, customer comfort, customer food, and everything they will pay. So they will be providing a best of the service quality, and they will be providing a better responsiveness to the customers. Now we move into the some of the very like what are the cons of privatization if we are doing Indian Railway privatization. So obviously whenever you are privatizing the Indian Railway, it lead to the fare hikes. Okay, to maximize the profit, there will be sudden fare hikes will be happening because they have to recover the operating cost, right? So because of that, they will make rail travel less affordable for much of the segment, because you know India is having right now a poor and middle class segment. People are maximally people are there, so they cannot afford the very high rail tickets. Okay, otherwise this will remain a luxury for them. Then job losses will happen because private company will start using cost cutting measures, like they will be utilizing some kind of automation for reduction of the workforce or to improve the efficiency. So some unnecessary places they can remove the workforce. Okay, so this will also lead to a job losses. Then inequality. Okay, it leads to a disparity service quality between the different region and different subgroups are there. Okay, some private companies are providing much better facility, so and some private companies are prioritizing profitability, some private companies are prioritizing the comfort. So, or like it may lead to, like if there is a rail route between Mumbai and Delhi, so this area every private player wanted to work, right? And what about the other urban centers which are not that much uh, prone to so much of rail connectivity? What about the other urban center, whether there will be equality will be there or not? No, because the private player will be only working over there where proper profitability they can generate. So they will be only working on the high speed and high traffic line, they will be only working. So it will obviously lead to inequality. Then safety concerns, safety standards, maintenance practices. Okay, so this has to be taken care of, because sometimes in order to prioritize the profit, they may hurt the safety standards, right? How? Because in order to prioritize the profit, they may compromise with the safety of the passenger. They may put some they do not put some new techniques in the safety measure. They just try to build like they will get some kind of a very inferior quality products. Also they can buy the inferiority quality wagon in order to prioritize the profit, so it may lead to the safety issues. Then loss of public control. So as the privatization, the government will lose control over the railway system, so it will be lead to the conflict of interest and reduce accountability under the railway. Okay, then again we have a rural connectivity issues will be there, because private companies will be more inclined toward the more profitable areas, so they will not be operating in the area where less urban communities or rural populations are there. So it will further lead to the reduction in the connectivity and accessibility. Okay, we wanted that our whole India gets connected with the proper railway networks in order to boost the efficiency and everything, but sometimes this privatization, because privatization focus on the profitability only comes from where they can get the maximum traffic. So that is their concept. Obviously this is the profitability concept, but since Indian Railway, as you all know that we are following our as you all know that in our preamble, what we call it as, we ourselves gives ourselves this constitution, and we solemnly resolve and give to ourselves this constitution as socially, politically and economically, right? We have to take care of the people socially also, so that economically and politically all together, so that proper equality is maintained everywhere. So that is why government is always have a apprehension in privatization. So that is why government is looking for certain routes to get privatized. Okay, where the government is thinking that this can generate unnecessary revenues over there. Okay, but rest all the areas where the railway is not that much productive, government can keep control of that area. Okay, now we are moving towards the Indian railway restructuring. Okay, so under the restructuring plan, there should be a creation of Indian Railway Management Service, IRMS. Okay, so they wanted to unify the existing 8 Group A services. You know, Group A services are there, which are selected from a UPSC and some other examination, and they wanted to put into a unified central service. Okay, so proper recruitment for engineer, non-engineer as per organizational need. It is not like that we have to create a vacancy. It is not like that. If organization is needing, then organization can go for recruitment examination. Then railway board, which is headed by a chairman, has again to be reorganized properly. Okay, so we have to go departure from the departmental organization to a leaner structure based on functional line. So focus has to be on functional line of reorganization. So here we know that in the railway board we have a chairman. This chairman acts as a chief executive officer, and there are 4 members which are responsible for infrastructure, one, operation and business, that is the second one, rolling stock, that is the third one, and finance, that is the fourth one, right? Here we have to include certain independent member who has a expertise in this industry, whether it is related to finance, economics, and who has a management experience in the strategic direction. So this is what restructuring has to be done in such a way. Then renaming of Indian Railway Medical Service to Indian Railway Health Service has to, as per the Bibek Debaroy Committee and Sam Pitroda Committee, they said that in order to make people work in an integrated way, because right now the railway board and railway departments are working in silos. Everybody is like, if this is one department, this one department, this department, and this department, so everybody is working in their own comfortable framework. So we need to integrate all their work. We need to integrate all their work in this whole process, so that all should work integratively in a more efficient way. Okay, so that is why we will be able to properly narrow down the whole process, and then we will be able to properly analyze the organizational goal, and we will be able to achieve organizational goal. So this is regarding the way how we can work on our Indian Railway restructuring, how we can just renaming certain things into different way, and how we can convert them into a integrated way, like the way railway board we can restructure, the way we can create all India services, that is Indian Railway Management Services, where we can unify all the central services together. So this is based on our Bibek Devaroy and Sam Pitroda committee. So we will be discussing regarding that in the coming slides. Okay. So now we are moving towards a very important project of our Indian government, that is the Dedicated Freight Corridor, DFC. Dedicated Freight Corridor. So this is a Indian Railways Golden Quadrilateral. Okay. So this Dedicated Freight Corridor means here only the freight trains will be working. Okay, that is dedicated for the freight traffic only. So we have 2 dedicated freight corridor. One is Western Dedicated Freight Corridor and second is Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor. So Western Dedicated Freight Corridor comes from Dadri in UP to Jawaharlal Nehru Port in Mumbai, and the Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor start from Ludhiana, from Punjab to Dhankuni in West Bengal, right? So this is the main 2 corridor, dedicated freight corridor, that are working in our country. And right now some additional corridor has also been announced: East-West Corridor, North-South Corridor, East Coast Corridor, and Southern Corridor. Okay, so DFCCIL, Dedicated Freight Corridor Company Industry Limited, is executing this whole process. The main Reason why we wanted to create a dedicated freight corridor is because that whenever we the same line is utilized by the passenger train and the freight train, so the passenger train has been given the way and the freight train has to stop. Because of that, so much delay happens in the freight from traveling from one place to other. So in order to remove or in order to elevate the congestion and to boost and provide industrial support and also multi-modal value service chain, this dedicated freight corridor concept came into being. Right now we are seeing that this is eastern and western. So you can see here the eastern one start from Ludhiana and Dhankuni. It is going till Dhankuni in the West Bengal near here area, and the western dedicated freight corridor started from Dadri here, and it is going to Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. Okay, so this is how it's been divided, and now we have our north south and east west corridor is also being sanctioned, and in the coming year we will be also seeing the construction in all those areas. So what is the role, what is the significance of this dedicated freight corridor? Obviously it relieves the congestion on the main routes. So the freight will be traveling in one route and passenger will be traveling on the other route. So obviously this help in reduction in the transportation cost, organizational overhead, and also reduce the energy consumption, because the freight train can be traveling at a particular speed, and because of that there will be no overuse of fuel and they will not lose the fuel just because that is standing at the station. So the faster train up to 100 km per hour they will be traveling, and they can be timetabled properly. Okay, now you can provide a timetabled format to these freight train. Okay, so because of that it also help in boosting the international connectivity. But some challenges are always there. Land acquisition is the major issue in order to make a new railway line, and because of that if there is any delay in the land acquisition process, obviously the market prices and payments goes very high. Lot of technological issues are there. What is going to be the locomotive type, what is going to be the wagon type, and what type of railway line, double decker, single decker, and the way container are going to stack on that. So in our country dedicated freight corridor is having a double container capacity. That means one container above the other can be put over there. Okay, then we have a very limited bidders due to Japanese government involvement requirement is there. Okay, then tender cancellation is causing the project delay, because every time certain rules and regulation is getting changed. So because of that tender cancellation, then rebidding, then reissue of the tender is happening. So it always create a process in a delay way, and also it increases the cost of the project. So dedicated freight corridor will be adopting a world-class technologies. This will totally modify the way freight is being carried, improve transportation infrastructure, it will reduce the shipping time, timetable freight services, and customer oriented service will be provided. All the places electric locomotive will be utilizing, and it will help in reducing the lowering of the cost, and also it will provide boost to the manufacturing sector, right? So this is going to provide a overhaul to the freight transport system, and it will boost the economic activity of our country. Okay, now we have a railway development authority. Okay, so this railway development or rail development authority was established by government in April 2017. A special role has been given to provide expert advice to the government on the various matter related to the railway development, and so that government can take informed decision. So here is the mandate that has been given. Mandate means what exactly this railway development authority has to do. Pricing services, what has to be the price, how much has to be the price, properly aligning with the cost. Enhancing non-fare revenues, safeguarding customer interest, how you can do. Competition, efficiency, economy. Encourage market development in ensuring fairness and stakeholders. Creation a conducive environment for investment. efficient allocation of resources, benchmarking of services and standards, framework for non-discriminatory open access to the dedicated freight corridor, like how you can provide non-discriminatory open access, then recommendation of new technologies and how we can adopt it, okay, and about human resource development, right? So here this is what the mandate, that means everything is included over here, how we can work, how this rail development authority, how all the aspects of the railway can be developed. So you remember these points, okay, remember these points. Sometimes these points are being asked as a static portion, sometimes they may ask you, please write down like what are the various aspects that rail development authority has to take care of it, right? So this points comes very handy, right? Now we are coming into the safety in railway. So safety achievement in 2018 and 19, we have some data. Train accident has decreased from 73 to 59. Zero train collision occurred. Derailment decreased from 78 to 46. Okay, so this is a 2018-19 data, but actually there was a train collision that has happened last year in 2023. That train collision has happened. Okay, so derailment has decreased from 78 to 46, and death has dropped by 81%. Earlier there was a death that is happening is 152 because of the railways. Now it has come down to 29 people. Okay, so what are the government initiative, what government has taken in order to improve the safety of the railways? Okay, so we will be seeing what government has done to improve the safety in the railway. So first of all, track renewal doubled, track renewal from 2400 kilometer to 4000. So new tracks have been laid, and they have, like, the old tracks have been removed and new tracks have been laid over that place. Then modernization of rolling stocks, that wagons, tracks, rolling stocks, modernization, decongestion of the railway network and upgradation of rolling stock. That means new lines are being commissioned 4.1 kilometer every day. Now it is 6.5 kilometer per day. New technology, LHB coaches like Hoffman Bosch coaches are there, which are advanced coaches. Advanced coaches are there, which in case of train collision do not goes up over the other coaches, they just remain at their own location. Then elimination of unmanned level crossing, Setu Bharatam project, in which they are removing 1140 per year down to 3400 in just 7 months, that is April to October. Then adequate funding, so Rashtriya Rail Sanraksha Kosh have a corpus of rupees 1 lakh crore for safety projects till 2007 to 2022. Then we have a European train collision system, level 2 signal technology, electronic interlocking, foot overbridges, escalators and lifts in the station, and priority for filling safety related vacancies. Okay, so safety related vacancy have also to be filled. And here we wanted to tell you regarding the Kavach system for train collision. Okay, for train collision, this Kavach system came into place. So if there are two trains that are coming in same line, if any train is jumping the red signal, okay, so the technology will automatically will be sending signal to a central room radio antenna. With the help of a global positioning system, the distance of these train will be calculated, and automatically traffic collision avoidance system come into place, and automatic braking will start. Automatic braking will be starting, and also the drivers will be also alerted for the same collision. Okay, so this is the automatic system. When any red crossing you are crossing, automatically this Kavach system will start operating, and automatic braking will be starting, and it will send signal to the drivers also. So this is a Kavach system. Now some other initiative are clone train scheme. To elevate the burden on heavy trafficked road, So running a duplicate train on the same train number, so that those people who are in the wait list should get the confirm ticket. Okay, duplicate train with the same number. Then bullet train feasibility study. You know, Ahmedabad and Mumbai, we are constructing a bullet train. So now feasibility study are being constructed, because this is running on the public-private partnership model. So there is a need for proper investment and signaling system. Then project development cell has been established under Ministry of Railway, where they will be helping in boosting the investment and attracting the foreign direct investment. Then electric locomotive manufacturing agreement has been signed with Medhapur Electric Locomotive. So it is a joint venture between Indian Railway and the France-based Alstom, right? So here they will be manufacturing 800 electric locomotive. Okay, so Indian Railway and France-based Alstom has signed a MOU for manufacturing of electric locomotive. Then we have one touch ATVM, automatic ticket vending machine, for in 42 suburban station. There it will fasten the ticket processing. Then National Rail Plan has also been there, National Rail Plan 2024, which will be integrating all the transportation development and multimodal transportation all together, right? Then what are the strategies that government is running in order to improve the railway network in our country? So let's see what are the things that government is running. This is Navarjan. Navarjan means how we can generate new revenues, how we can tap the new sources of revenue, that is Navarjan. Then Navmanak, new standards, new norms, how we can optimize our expenditure in activities. Then new Nav Sanrachana, new structure, like how we can revise the process, rules and organization structure. So these are all the new ways through which we can improve our railways, right? So some of the ways forward are better utilization of existing infrastructure. How we have to prioritize the ongoing project by enhancing their capacity, right? Then timely completion of the projects and upgradation of the old networks, right? Then ease of organizational rigidity. Then here in the organizational rigidity, we have to ease down, right? So whether we have to inculcate the private player in this whole process, in the locomotive operation, in the freight operation, then transfer of coach and locomotive manufacturing and repair to the private player. So in this way we will be inculcating the private player in the process, right? Then separate suburban passenger transport, and we have to implement light rail networks throughout. Then rationalization of fare structure, subsidies and monetize the assets. So whatever the fare structure is there, you have to rationalize it. Okay, review the pricing model, everything you have to review. Then you have to look on the subsidies. You have to check whether you are not giving too much subsidy or too low subsidy, right? So we have to make sure that whether it is a passenger segment or whether it is a freight segment, we have a rationalized fare structure. We have to make proper freight tariff competitive with our international and national counterparts, right? And whatever the assets are there which we can monetize, land we can monetize, old buildings we can monetize, iron products we can monetize. So we can monetize these things. So this is the way you can generate the resources for your railways. Then enhance ease of doing business. How you can do? We have to use independent agency who can advise us on new railway technologies. He can advise us on new network speed and reliability. Okay, whatever the new commissioned free terminals are there under Mission 100, we have to complete it by 22-23, right? So which is still going on. Then terminal efficiency, the way the terminal has to work, the tray operation, during that time the rolling stocks come, with the container ship that comes, and how is the turn around time of the train. Okay, so turn around time of a train is also being calculated, and it tells about the efficiency of your railway stop. Okay, so the main aim is to modernize, to optimize for proper revenue generation and overall efficiencies, right? Now we are moving to certain committees, so we will be only looking for the important points that that committee have raised during that time. So first one is the Anil Kakudar Committee on Railway Safety in 2012 that came into being to review the safety. So this committee recommended that at least 1 lakh crore rupees for 5 years has to be invested for especially railway safety. Railway safety, because this is very inadequate because of the poor infrastructure, poor resources and lack of empowerment. So this whole financial system of railways was on the brink of collapse during that time. So that is why there is a need some concrete measures has to be taken. So three vital functions like rule making, operation and regulation, they are all under railway board, so they need to be separated. As per Anil Kakudar committee, he said that we have to separate the three vital function: rule making separate, operation separate, regulation separate. Okay, so there is an independent mechanism that is to be needed for safety regulations. Okay, so that is why this committee recommended a statutory railway safety authority which will have a ample power for safety oversight in the railways, right? Then opening up of research, design and standard organization, research and design and standard, RDSO. This is going to be the technical wing of the railway. So this is highly constrained, neither the resources, neither with the workforces. So their abilities are being hampered. So they were not generating new emerging technologies. So the committee recommended that we have to restructure RDSO and they provide them with more and more empowerment. And they said that there should be a railway research and development council that has to be set up directly under the control of the government. Then focus on advanced signaling system based on European train control system. Okay, for the entire route, like they said that for 19,000 kilometer you do it within 5 years with a cost of 20,000 crore. Then all the level crossing, manned and unmanned, should be eliminated over the 5 years with expenditure of rupees 50,000 crore. Okay, so this committee thinks that if we are able to invest this much of money, so within 7 to 8 years we will be recovering the money through saving in maintenance cost and improved train operation. So we will be able to generate this money back, right? Then committee recommended switching over from ICF design coaches to LHB coaches that have already been started, and now we can see most of the trains are running on LHB coaches, right? LHB, you can see that red color coaches are there, right? So committee has recommended that up to 20,000 crore will be needed for this whole safety related purposes. Then comes in 2015 Rakesh Mohan committee. So under the Rakesh Mohan committee, has recommended that at least from 4.4% of the GDP to 1.1% of the GDP has to be invested in the railway sector, because this much of capacity, this much of capital utilization has to be done. Then restructuring of the railway system, separate management for operation from government control. Okay, a special railway regulatory authority separately has to be set up, and create Indian Railway Corporation as a statutory corporation. Then accounting system has to be revamped so that Indian GAAP system you can follow. Then market expansion, we have to move into the various sector, like we can expand Indian Railway present in the FMCG sector, consumer durable sector, IT sector, containerized sector, cargo, automobile sector. Okay, so here earlier right now we were only working on the cargos and automobile sector. We can also move into the FMCG and consumer durable sector also with the help of various type of specialized container services. Then passenger service enhancement, so long distance intercity transport has to be provided, and speed and develop high speed rail corridor. So with that we have a Vande Bharat, Tejas and all these things are there which are running under the new high speed rail under operation under the mission Raftar, right? Then industrial connectivity, we have to connect our terminals and everything, like wherever we have a heavy goods terminals are there, major ports and everything should be connected with this railway network. Multi-modal logistic park, multi-modal logistic park has to be developed, which we are already developing throughout the places. Then dedicated freight corridor, we have already started working on it. So these are the recommendation of the Rakesh Mohan committee, which are already seeing the implementation over here. Then railway safety, so we have to create a national board on railway safety, which is a much needed requirement right now. Then railway project expediency, so we have to create a which can provide project delivery acceleration. So we have to create a board which will be looking for day-to-day monitoring of all the projects. Then rationalization of management services and interconnectivity of project acceleration, these are all recommendations that has been given by the Rakesh Mohan committee on 2015. Okay, then we have a Bibek Devaroy committee, which also came regarding the railway, like what kind of things that we can implement in the railway sector. Okay, so as per Bibek Devaroy, he's saying that we have to do a transition to commercial accounting. Okay, financial statement to align with national and international accepted principle. It should not be like a local principle. It should focus on national and international accepted principles has to be there. Then streamlining the recruitment and HR process. So whatever your recruitment process, whatever is HR process, it has to be streamlined based on the railway service, and all the services has to be integrated together so that there should be no mismatch that should happen, and only the needed type of service should be recruited. Then independent regulator, Railway Regulator Authority of India, that is called independent body, has to be established for only Indian Railway, especially public sector. Then encouraging the private entry. Yes, private entry, because Bibek Devaroy is of the opinion that private party now has to start taking active role in the railway manufacturing, whether in the core services, non-core activities. So they have to be inculcated in this whole process. Then Indian Railway Manufacturing Company should be place existing production unit under the special purpose vehicle. Okay, so that they should expedite the whole process of manufacturing of wagons and various type of locomotives and rolling stocks, right? Then raising of the resources, we have to have a investment in this area, we have to bring FDI in this area, we have to tap in the experts, we have to tap in the bankers and representative of the financial institution. Joint ventures have to be there in the new suburban lines, joint ventures with the private, with the state government and private parties. Okay, then we have to change the relation between the government and the railway. Okay, we have to put the separate railway budget project progressively and merging it with the general budget. So this have already been done. This has already been done. Now our budget is general budget. There is no separate railway budget that is coming, right? Then decentralization of the bottom level duties has to be done, and non-core areas like hospital management, education, catering, real estate, or these we have to separate from the core. So core and non-core areas need to be separated and they have to be dealt separately, right? So this is all about the committees and recommendations. Some recommendations are already being working and some are still on a process of working. Now, Indian Railway Strategic Initiative that we are going to read now. So, Indian Railway Strategic Initiative focuses on merger of the railway budget with the general budget, which has already been done, right? Then Diamond Quadrilateral project, we can have a dedicated freight corridor, so it will enhance the traffic flow and also the punctuality, right? Then overhaul of investment, around 8.7 lakh crore plan was there. We can include the borrowing and private investment that can come. Then supply chain digitalization, that we can do e-procurement of whatever is required in the railway, whether it is auctioning of the rolling stocks and auctioning of the railways. Various day-to-day products are there which are being required by the railways. So we can do e-auction and transparency for that. Mission 41K. We wanted to save rupees 41,000 crore with energy efficient solution. That is the mission 41K. Sometimes they may ask you like what is the meaning of mission 41K. It is related to the railways. Then electrification target like 90% route electrification in 5 years. Mission Raftar, we have already discussed regarding that. It is a speed enhancement program of launching the new high speed trains, right? Tejas, right? We have a Tejas, then we have Shatabdi. Shatabdi is there, Shatabdi, Tejas, and various other trains are there which are being launched for new high speed rail, so that their speed can be increased, and we can just move and provide a more speedy transport of the passengers, right? So this is mission Raftar for speed enhancement, and high speed trains like bullet trains also can be part of the Raftar, right? Then Tejas is a part of that whole program, and then Vande Bharat, okay, Vande Bharat is again the part of that, right? Then station redevelopment with the help of private companies, we can help in development of the railways, and they will get the golden and silver and diamond card over that regarding upgradation that is happening. Then workforce optimization, like we have to see what is the employee strength is needed. Are we running over on employee or under on employees? So in order to increase the overall efficiency, we need to tackle the workforce optimization. Then a special freight train scheme, we know we have to put private sector operation for faster cargo movement, that is special freight train. Then IRCTC partnership with e-commerce companies they can do, so that more enhanced customer experience can be taken place. Then leasing the hill railways, like iconic leasing of the iconic hill railways to the private companies for the operation, because they will be able to operate in a much better way than the normal counterpart, right? So what is the way forward that we are looking for improving the railway? So this is going to be our last part of this whole session. So let's see. So under the improving railway, so we have to learn from the ISRO for implementing key reforms. ISRO model, target driven, team spirit, R&D, transparency, speed and collaboration, all has to. So this is what they are saying, that we should learn from the model of ISRO, how they used to work with the private sector. So similarly railway has to tackle the private sector, similarly the ISRO does, right? Then safety measure, LHB coaches, okay, LHB coaches inspired by Japan Shingen system, ultrasound flaw dissection, anti-collision devices, Kavach system, AI for safe operation, okay. Then replace direct discharge of accretes with bio toilet. So bio toilet have started being introduced in the trains right now. Then regulatory measure, safety regulatory we have to put as the utmost importance. Then lateral entry has to be put, so that expert people can come, okay, so that expert people can join the whole process of railway management. Then national program we have to integrate, like blend, make in India, digital India, Swachh Bharat mission, all has to be integrated with our railway networks, okay. FDI, bullet trains, IRCTC, e-auction, bio toilets, food hygiene, this all should be integrated. This all Indian national missions should be integrated. Then mission mode projects, some projects which are of very utmost importance to our government has to be given the priority based on mission mode. Whichever route are there which need decongestion at the early has to do the track link expediently. So that is why mission mode projects also has to be conducted. Then promotion of awareness and participation, like Indian Railway insurance program regarding awareness and participation among the masses. So we need to promote the awareness and participation among all the stakeholders who are being part of the Indian Railways. Then modernization initiative that we are already have done regarding the infrastructure, around 1253 station will be developed under Adarsh Railway Station scheme, okay. So Indian Railway Station Development Corporation will be dedicating a special purpose vehicle especially for modernization of the project, including various public-private partnership projects. So this is all the way through which we can modernize our railway and introduce the new safety and financials, technologies and everything we can inculcate in order to have a holistic development of the railway network in our own country. So this is all for today, guys. Thank you so much. I'll be seeing you with the next lecture. Thank you so much. Bye bye.